Hello, we are Kyungjin and Subin. Today we will introduce you to Suwon Hwaseong, which you have just seen a few pictures, with its history, features, and interesting facts. First of all, I, Kyungjin, will tell you the background of Suwon Hwaseong's creation related to our history. Suwon Hwaseong is a planned city made during the late Joseon period, which means it was not developed naturally. The construction of this city started from King Jeongjo's filial piety of his father, who was killed in a grain storage box. His father was sacrificed because of the fight between political groups, even without a chance to become the king. So Jeongjo, who saw his father's death in the age of 11, later moved his father's grave to a place called Hwasan and had to give the ordinary people of Hwasan some place to live in. Thus, this planned city Suwon Hwaseong was built. However, there was also a reason of building this city to make the citizens to live more comfortably and keep in check of the Noron group to reinforce the king's power. King Jeongjo led the best scholar and writer Jeong Yakyong to construct Suwon Hwaseong. Jeong Yakyong marked out Suwon Hwaseong using both traditional and new foreign methods. After a year of research and preparation, he gave Jeongjo the book called Seongseol, containing the basic outline of the city and descriptive ways to build it. The actual construction of the city started in January 1794 and only took 2 years and 9 months until September 1796. This was thanks to advanced machine and giving workers the exact payment, which made them work harder. The details will be introduced by Subin.
As mentioned by Kyungjin, though Suwon Hwaseong is a big historical site, it actually did not take a long time to build it. It was because of the help of Kojungi. Before we talk about this valuable tool, let's talk about Jeong Yakyong, who invented it. He is not only the scientist who invented the tool to construct the site, but also one of the most famous scholars who studied practical manners in the 18th century. And he also is a very well-known social reformer. Based on his interest in geology and history, he wanted to help common people with a creative invention in scientific technology. Among many of his achievements, the most well-known one is a role as the leading character on constructing Suwon Hwaseong. He was especially loved by the King Jeongjo and was directed by the king to construct the castle as fast and cheap as he could. By studying all the books from both Eastern and Western countries, he accumulated his knowledge about castellation. Then he discovered the principle of a pulley and invented the Kojungi. He also wrote the book Seongseol that Kyungjin mentioned. Then what is Kojungi that makes this scientist so important during the construction? Kojungi is a machine that uses the principle of a block and a tackle to handle a very heavy stuff. It kept the balance between the left and right side while turning the reel and rolled the stuff up at the same speed. It is written that with this tool, 30 people were able to lift a stone of 7.5 tons, which means one was able to handle 240 kilograms, about 530 pounds. This is now designated as a UNESCO World Heritage because it contributed to reduce the time for the construction of Suwon Hwaseong.
Now let's look around Suwon Hwaseong. First, this is the north gate and also the main gate, Chang'an Gate. Usually, the south gate would be the main one. However, since the north gate was the first that King Jeongjo would pass after seeing his father's grave, it became the main one. This gate is the biggest gate in our country. Can you see something special of this gate? Yes. You'll notice that there is a semicircle shaped rampart protecting the gate once more. On the right side, I put it in red so you can see it more easily. This kind of method is called ongseong in Korea. On the top part of this round wall, there are 5 water holes used when the enemies tried to put fire on the gate. You must never miss the gate's great size and power you can feel from it. The next part I would like to show you is the West Tangte and West Node. They are close to each other, one behind the other. On the left you can see Tangte, which is kind of a command post that commanded the military while looking out over the castle. The West Tangte is also called the Hwaseong Tangte. There is also another Tangte in Suwon Hwaseong on the northeast side of the site. Following Tongjo's words, they will put the flags up together with a great trumpet sound, and the soldiers would practice according to the flags. On the right, there is Dute, which there is also one in the northeast side, and it is a facility built high enough to shoot a crossbow in the middle of the castle. You might think that the facilities related to military are all not that pretty. However, as you just looked around some of them with me, all are very good to see, aren't they? The one we will see now is especially beautiful. Here is the Panjangsudong, located in the northeast side of Suwon Hwaseong. It is used as a key point to look at the enemy's movement from inside the castle. It is very beautiful because you can see the best view of it together with the pond called Yongyeon below it. Also, the pattern on the outer wall of it shows the beauty of Joseon's architecture.
Now Subin will lead you around Suwon Hwaseong's end parts. Yeonmudae was a place for military drill. These days you can enjoy archery or fly a kite in a large field. Then you can find a watchtower called Northeast Gongsimdon. This was used to look out and attack the surrounding enemies. Its name Gongsimdon means that it is an empty high ground. Usually high ground means a facility that is used to monitor enemies in a higher place far away from the palace. But this one in Suwon Hwaseong is a very unique one because it is right next to the castle wall and is the only one that is empty. To look at the appearance, it is a 3-story building that has a hole for gunfire. Because of this, it is also called soragang, meaning it resembles a turban shell. As you walk through the castle, you can also find another gate called Paltar Gate. Paltar is the name of the mountain next to the fortress, and it means ships and wagons gather from all directions. Like its name, people had frequent contacts with this spot even before the fortress was built, because it was a crossroad to head the southern part of Korea. The unique feature of this gate is that it is not connected with a fortress wall and is located in the middle of the road. I highly recommend you to visit this site also during sunset because you can enjoy more majestic scene with the rays of the late sun flashing through the gate. Furthermore, when you visit Suwon Hwaseong, you should never miss Hwaseong Haengong, a temporary palace in Suwon. Most temporary palaces in Korea are used to avoid emergency situations such as war or just to rest. However, this palace was actually used for the king's residence. The 22nd King Jeongjo, who built this site, stayed here every time he visited Suwon to do the politics and actually held many ceremonies here. After this king, another kings also used this place as a safe house, what we call it these days, to find peace. Was that for the reason? Although it is a temporary palace, its structures and organizations resemble the main palace, which the king actually stayed most of his life. Actually, it was destroyed by the Japanese when Korea was invaded by the Japan in the beginning of 20th century, so these days you can only enjoy 70 to 80% of the structures that existed in the past. Still, you can enjoy the dignity, grandiosity, and beauty of Korean traditional buildings and also experience many unique programs here. The road along the Suwon Hwaseong Fortress satisfies everyone visiting the site, even Koreans living near it. Although it may be a long course to walk along, you will never be bored as you can enjoy Korean unique cultures and buildings. Especially in the good weather, why don't you plan a walk along the Suwon Hwaseong? And this is the end of me and Kyungjin's explanation around Suwon Hwaseong, and these were the sources we referred while preparing this. If you have any questions about Suwon Hwaseong or anything related to Korean history and cultures, please visit the Korean ambassador or contact YCC on SNS. Thank you.